Back again, and today we are going to be taking our silicone resin mold, a bunch of cut-off pieces from previous knife handles of that resin that has the color in it, and a couple other things. This video is going to take several days to film because each set of these scales that I make takes 24 hours to cure. So strap in, this video is probably going to be a long one. I don't know, you can see how long it is right now. I don't know yet because I'm starting this at the beginning of the week. This is probably going to be a week's long thing. But we're going to make several different handle scales. I've noticed over on my Etsy store, I have a lot of swords. I have a pole axe. I have an axe, a raider axe, a bunch of knives, larger knives, but I am missing one thing. That's a bunch of really pretty hunting knives with resin handles. This video I'm going to be making handle scales for a bunch of little Skinner knives.
Day 1, let's go.
So for this first set I've got a bunch of little leftover pieces of red and black and this terracotta, and I'm going to go to the bandsaw. I'm going to cut these up into smaller sections, and we're going to put these in with the pour for this one. And basically this is going to give us a bunch of little fragments inside of there of different colors, so when we shape it, it's going to have all these little patches. So let's get to the bandsaw, cut these up, cast this first one. Now we've got all our nice little chunks from those leftover cutoffs chopped up, and we can go ahead and place them in the mold. We've got black, we've got red, we've got black and red, and we got terracotta. So now we're just going to do 50-50 blend of our two juices here. There's part A of the juice and part B of the juice. And for this, we're just going to use a pinch of the Astral white stuff. This will give us a nice white background for these colors to play in. Just going to stir for about 15 minutes. So let's go ahead and pour our scales. And we're just going to fill it up enough to where the surface tension will hold it together and not have it overflow on us. Give it a second to level out. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to throw over top of it a little cover, so that way when the wind blows out here in my open air shop, none of the leaves from the trees or any dust gets on top of those scales. Just saves me time later. And that's the first set out of the sets we're casting, so I'll see you guys tomorrow.
Let's keep the ball rolling. On to the next one, day 2.
Okay, it has now been just a hair over 24 hours. And we've got our scales nice and solidified here. Just like that, we've got our first handle scales all set. And on this one, we're just going to use our black and red chunks. We're not going to use our terracotta chunks. Okay, now we can go ahead and mix up our resin and our dye. And we're just going to use the coal for this particular one. We've got our black resin all mixed up now, and we can go ahead and pour our scales.
Don't forget to like and subscribe, because now we're moving on to day 3.
Been in a sufficient amount of time to where I can take these out, and they should be rather solid. Still a little bit flexy, but that's okay, they'll get harder. Looks like they turned out pretty well. We've got some pretty translucent black ones with some nice red chunks thrown in there. Should do nicely. So we're going to use our Twilight Silver color for this one. And now we stir for 15 minutes.
I forgot to record pouring this one, so we're on to day 4 now. Yay!
Okay. Another day, another set of scales down. Just shave off the excess like we do. And we've got our nice silver scales with black and red pieces intertwined inside of there. So that'll look pretty cool when it gets cleaned up too. We're gonna keep this one real simple. Just these light blue and white centered pieces that are these odd shaped cutoffs. And we're gonna do some rosewood for the background color here. So a nice bright red to contrast this white and blue. It'll be a very American handle. Now we stir for 15 minutes. And once that's all mixed up, we'll be able to pour this one. Okay, we've got our rosewood red mixed all up nice and thick. And go ahead and pour these scales.
Subtly hoping this video is not getting repetitive because it's day 5.
All right, let's take a look. Got some nice red with that blue and white centerpiece. When these get made into handles, these will be really cool because the shaping of the handle will actually give me the red edges with that white and blue center. So this will be a very Merca kind of handle. Cool. Let's get another one poured. Okay, we're finally going to start switching things up. So in this one with the green, we've got walnut green and pepitas green. And this one is a muddy brown. Primarily, we're going to have some muddy brown for the whole background. And then we're going to have some veins of this mixed green running through it, almost like tree leaves or grass. So let's pour our brown first. Get a nice base going. Now we can go ahead and add our our green. Little accent bit here. Take like a stick or a nail or something, and we're going to drag out that green into some swirls here. We'll probably end up with some leakage, but that is perfectly fine. Now I'm just going to close that off and I'll see you guys tomorrow.
One of my neighbor's chickens hopped over my fence and my dogs killed it, but anyway, it's day 6 now.
So it's going to be kind of hard to tell right now, but you can see there's more green poking through and more brown poking through on this side. And what I'll do is this will be the outsides of our scales, and when we sand it down, we'll slowly get more of that green that'll peek through. So for this one, we're going to take some of this boondoggle wire. This is like purple, green, yellow, blue, red, like a color spectrum bit, mostly blue, but with other colors laced in there. It's some boondoggle wire that my lovely wife decided to donate to some handle scales. So I'm going to chop this up into some pieces, interlace it in between different parts. We're going to cast some scales out of this with some colored resin. So here's a little closer look at what's going to be going on inside of these. It's going to be like a random pattern of mixed colors of this shiny silicone string mixed with the resin. So this should look rather cool. I'm going to cast this in black. So you're going to have a black background to all this and black fill to all this, with just streaks of all these different colors running through it. We're just going to go ahead and let these harden up and we'll go from there.
Luckily, nothing happened today that was very eventful because it's now day 7.
So here we are with our scales hardened up. And you can see it's got those streaks running through it, a color that reflect the light and grab it really well in that really dark epoxy. So this will look really cool when it's all cleaned up. Let's go ahead and get rid of the excess real quick. Just going to use up some more of this stuff because I really like how this is turning out. Okay, so now I'm going to pour my white. Now I'm just going to lace this red down in between. This should look pretty wild when it's done because it's going to have those little tracers running through it along with the mix of the white and the red.
Almost there. Almost there. Just keep trucking along.
Alrighty. So, as you can see, they're about half red and half white. So when these go on the handle, these will look pretty wild. I'm going to have to figure out whether we want the white on the outside or the red on the outside. Some nice, bright, orange-colored boondoggle string here. You know what we're about to do with this. I'm going to start with that same fiery rust color from the last one. And now we're going to mix just what's left over on the edges and the inside of here of that red with some terracotta. And this should result in like a reddish orange terracotta kind of color from these two colors mixing, which will actually look really cool with that orange string in there. Or at least I hope it will. Go ahead and pour the rest of this right in the center here. Little tip for those of you that might be new to doing resin scales: if you take a lighter or a torch, when it starts to bubble at the surface, you can just lightly pop those bubbles with your torch. That way you don't end up with a bunch of surface bubbles, and you can come back and do that a couple times, especially with this bubbleless, gasless epoxy.
That's it. I'm ordering a second mold on Amazon. This is taking way too long.
Alrighty. Those ones came out nice and clean and nice and easy. You can kind of see some of that orange poking through this side, but this side looks even cooler. You can see where that fiery design will really kind of pop on these once it gets all cleaned up. These will look rather awesome. Again, we're going to use up a bunch more of this semi-translucent orange, and we're going to chop this up into a bunch of tiny little pieces this time. And I'm going to do another set with a little bit of this Petrus green. This will leave it as the green with orange, so a very camo kind of coloration will be going on here, but it'll have two shades of green inside of there, rather than just one solid color of green. It'll be two shades of green that orange plays inside of.
Ooh boy, we are in the double digits now. Let's go.
Alrighty, let's see what we've got today. Some pretty cool looking grass and straw kind of camo is what this turned out to be. This will be a camo kind of knife scale. Looking pretty good though. Now we're going to try something completely out of the woods. We've got 3 different colors of pigment in there. We have a little bit of rosewood, we have some of the terracotta, and some of the mud pie brown. We're going to mix all 3 of those colors to see what kind of a pigment we come up with. And I've got 2 sections that will be complete stripes down the center of these scales, and these 2 triangular sections. Let's go ahead and pour. We're going to fill up one side entirely with this. And like I said, we're going to fill one side, the side that has the triangle, entirely. And then on this other side, we're just going to do a base that's this red, and then we're going to use another color on top of that, on this side. Just go ahead and fill the rest of these basins here with this white. Now we're just going to go ahead and put some stripage on this other side to make sure everything seals up nice and tight. We're going to cover our blue sections until they touch all that other stuff that we have. Okay, we'll see these tomorrow.
Is it over? It's over. Oh, thank God. Thank you, Jesus. It's finally over.
Alrighty. We are definitely going to need to trim some excess off this one today. So these will definitely be cool. You can see that blue triangle contained inside of these red pieces. And it's about half and half with that white. So when I put that knife together, we'll probably have that be the centers. These are a little cockeyed, but that's fine. It won't make too much of a difference in the final assembly. So we got our 10 sets of epoxy resin handle scales. We've got like a birthday cake frosting kind of one. We've got our red and blue. We've got our camo, our fire, our other camo. We've got our black one with the frosting colored stripies. We've got our really Julie odds and ends ones, the white and the silver. We got the silver with the red striping. We've got the red, white, and blue one that's going to be interesting as well. And then we've got the red, white, and blue one over here with the fiery explosion around the blue and white strip. And I've already gone ahead and started batching all the knives out. We've got these long pointed critters that, yes, need some more work done on them. We got 2 of those. We've also got 2 of these nice little Skinner style knives, hunting style knives. We've got this guy that's going to be just a big boy camp knife. And then another more traditional Skinner style knife that we're going to make. And this one still needs more work too. And then we've got our other 4 billets here that we're going to use to make the rest of them.
You thought it was over? Joke's on you, it's never over.
Okay, you guys saw all these that I forged yesterday, and today I forged out the last 4 knives. We've got more traditional hunting style knives. Each one has a little bit of a different blade profile to them for different reasons. Everybody likes slightly different blade profiles, slightly different handles, so I figure if I make 6 out of 10 unique shapes and then 4 out of 10 in sets of what I think is going to probably be more popular, then we'll see what you guys like, whatever you guys want to get. So I'm definitely getting another mold for casting handles. This just takes way too long. This has been almost 2 weeks for me to make the rough setup for these 10 knives. We are going to make all 10 of these knives into finished knives and get them up on the Etsy store as soon as I possibly can. And we are going to do a video that's going to be a however many days it takes long video to finish these knives. So we didn't show the forging process because you guys have seen tons of forging content on my YouTube channel. And I figure I'd show you guys kind of the back end of how I make these resin handles, how I assemble it all that kind of stuff for this batch of knives here. That way if you guys want to pick up a Hunter, a Skinner, a camp knife, I have a bunch of nice, unique knives. Even though I do have 4 knives that are in sets of 2, each set of scales, as you guys saw, is unique. So even the knives that have the same blade profile will have different scales. So it'll have different aesthetic choices for everything. That way you guys can pick what you like. I can kind of get a sense of what's popular in my market, in my niche, with my audience specifically, because everybody likes different knives, different handles, that kind of thing. If you guys like what you've seen, do me a favor, do that thing right there. Helps the channel grow, helps me reach more people. And until next time, God bless, stay sharp out there. If you're looking for a custom blade, check out the Etsy store. Link will be at the end of the video.